Hi, I'm Walter Sacco, an Elastio Solutions Architect, and I want to thank you for joining me today to learn why Elastio is necessary for AWS workloads. Elastio is a data resilience platform that secures and assures recoverability of your AWS data, and it's the first of its kind. Elastio was founded in 2019 and is a member of the AWS Partner Network. Elastio has grown into not just a backup solution, but a resilience platform that alerts you to ransomware infection or application inconsistencies as soon as they are detected. No more spinning up a test environment and running a lengthy scan, costing you money and time. Just protect your data, schedule your snapshots, and let Elastio do the rest. When it comes to the majority of companies in 2022, data is the business. Vulnerabilities and misconfigurations leading to data loss will cause revenue loss and downtime, and hackers know this. Think of some of the recent breaches that you've heard of. Not good publicity. Aside from lost data, your business will lose its reputation, which can lead to customers going with a competitor. You can be sure that if your company gets publicly hit with ransomware, the competition will be calling. A bad enough hit could even cause your business to go bankrupt. It's not just ransomware attacks either. If you want to take a business down, you go after its data by any means possible. Now, this is why business critical data is constantly under attack, knowingly or unknowingly. With 3 out of 4 companies facing a ransomware attack in the next 2 years, having a data resiliency platform that tests every backup for corruption is critical. Aside from infections, you have to worry about insider attacks, negligence, and application setups. A simple configuration change could take an application down and lead to a lengthy recovery process, leading to unnecessary revenue loss. Now, are backups the only solution? Typically, cyber recovery solutions focus on backups, only making sure those backups are air-gapped or locked down. Immutable backups can't be deleted or changed after they're written to storage, but that doesn't mean that they're valid to recover from. And stopping a ransomware attack at the perimeter is a losing battle, so you can't only rely on that. Not if, but when that infection gets through, what isn't taken into consideration is that backed up data might be a ticking time bomb just waiting for your data retention policy to expire before detonating. Now, even a few years ago, ransomware would start to encrypt as soon as it was in the system, making it a lot easier to recover from. But recent strains creep through the environment, testing your detection systems before extracting data, encrypting backups, and becoming embedded to everything it can. Here's where it gets interesting. The average time of an infection lays dormant before activation is 72 days, whereas the average retention policy is between a week and a month. So during this time, it may not even be making any file changes, but it's trying to propagate itself to as many applications as it can. Then it starts its attack. Now, even if you had a 90-day retention policy, today's businesses can't afford to lose 70 plus days of data. When a cloud workload gets infected, modern ransomware waits so that it gets replicated into months worth of backups. It tries to damage those existing backups before turning on and encrypting the production workloads, effectively making any restores to recent recovery points a painful, time-consuming process, if the data is even recoverable at all. So what can you do? Stop spending money on defense and get resilient. Breaches happen and they aren't going to stop. There's too much money to be made by bad actors and they know it. Elastio can secure your AWS data and prove that there are valid recovery points. Let's look at 4 benefits to using Elastio in your AWS environment. Firstly, protecting without agents ensures a variety of applications are safe without the need for managing multiple agents for each OS or type. You don't need to constantly keep hundreds of applications up to date with the latest agents. Simply create a retention policy and the scheduled snapshots created are then scanned for corruption, malware, and ransomware with incredible accuracy. And it's all done locally in your own AWS environment. None of your data ever leaves your AWS environment. Over 1,800 ransomware strains have been reverse engineered and the fingerprints of how they work are pushed to the scanning engine. This is updated constantly and it's not just for ransomware. Machine learning can even detect configuration errors that could cause your applications to stop working. And integrations with Slack, Grafana, Datadog, and other event management systems allow for a curated remediation plan as well. Elastio even has a dedicated incident response team that will contact you for critical issues. Lastly, there are many ways to recover and forensically assess how the breach occurred in a sandbox environment. Individual file level restores are possible as well, and with global dedupe and compression, you're able to retain years of data for a fraction of the competition. Now to recap, with Elastio, you can have years of recovery points stored inside of your own AWS environment that are scanned for issues after every snapshot. These snaps are taken without impacting production systems, without agents, and are able to be configured in less than an hour. Vulnerabilities are displayed in an easy to understand dashboard with remediation steps outlined clearly and a dedicated Elastio response team to alert you if you've missed something. With the ability to recover individual files, disks, or an entire application stack from multiple points in time, you have multiple ways to respond when things go wrong, and they will. So I know this sounds good, but how does it actually work? So you'll start by creating an Elastio tenant, which is the only outside hosted part of the platform. This is where you'll access the GUI and dashboards. Now, once this is created and the correct permissions are set up in AWS, you'll deploy the CloudFormation stack in whichever regions you want to store and scan your data. The Elastio tenant, along with the cloud connection, gives you access to the ScaleZ service. ScaleZ provisioner service spins up instances only when you need them, saving costs by avoiding always-on services. Now, the Vault service is where all the deduplication and compression happens, as well as where object lock is enabled, keeping the scanned data secure. And finally, the star of the show, the cyber resilience service. This activates after every snap and scans for vulnerabilities. Now, Elastio is a CLI first platform, so everything you can do from the GUI is able to be done via commands and more. The GUI is constantly being updated to accomplish more, but command line interface is where you can do absolutely everything. Most importantly, you, the customer, keeps full custody of your data from start to finish. I really want to stress that point. None of your data ever leaves your environment. So if you like this, what's next? Let's define what would make Elastio successful in your environment and figure out who the right people are that we need to show this to. To get going, we'll need 15 minutes to deploy Elastio from the marketplace and add it into the accounts. We can walk through how to use the platform and review what makes it a success, and then we'll wrap the whole thing up with a business impact presentation. Now, if that sounds good, please reach out to us at www.elastio.com or email us at sales@elastio.com to set up a demo. Thank you very much.